Welcome back, gamers. Justin here with you today, and we are doing developer blog number 9. I think it's 9. Really should start checking before the videos, but we're doing a developer blog. That's all that matters. And today is a fun one. As most of you know, this last sprint has been dedicated solely to artificial intelligence, which from my perspective as a developer has been an absolute blast. Loved every minute of it. I had a ton of fun. There is still work to be done on the artificial intelligence side. There's a lot of variables to be worked in still, a lot of kind of fine tuning and tweaks. I have 3 of the 5 actually implemented right now. So let's kind of step back here. And when I say 3 of the 5, what I mean are factions. So remember, the game has a total of 5 factions planned: Scroungers, Hunters, Collectors, UNF, and then the 5th is not really a faction, it's Unfactioned. And Unfactioned is meant to be that truly hardcore experience that a lot of you will probably want to go after. As an Unfactioned player, you get absolutely no help. Everything is against you. Pretty much everybody open fires at you on sight. So it's a very hardcore experience if that's what you're into. I'm not. Something you probably don't know is I suck at games like this. Like first-person shooters are games that I just typically suck at. I really enjoy them, which is why I'm building one, but I suck at it. So, if you ever run across me in the real game, you're probably just gonna kill me. It's just a fact, and I've learned to live with that, and I'm 100% okay with that. But nonetheless, though, today we're going to get a little bit different view. So I'm inside of the Unity editor here, so I can move around kind of freely here, as you can see. I can rotate and do all of the cool stuff that Unity allows us to do. And I am inside of the Unity editor because it is easier to illustrate the artificial intelligence and the behaviors that they exhibit. So I have 3 of the 5 factions implemented. I have Scroungers, Hunters, and Collectors implemented. And I purposely chose those 3 because they were the 3 most diverse. UNF is a very just extremely passive version, and we're gonna watch this here. Is this green is a collector, and you can see he's not real happy with me, up here shooting at me already. Now I did give them terrible aim, so you will probably not see any AI kill AI right now because I to be able to test this game, I had to stop dying. Like I said, I'm terrible at FPS games, so it was just I had to give them horrible aim. So I need to know when they're shooting at me, but they can't just one-tap me. So, and it was getting ugly there for a while. So they have terrible aim, so they will open fire, but the bullets will always just kind of whiz over my head right now, as well as each other. So they pretty much have to get lucky to kill something right now. So as you see them shooting at each other, don't be like, well, they're missing everything, they must suck. They suck because I've got their aiming values basically set to 0. So they just kind of spray and pray in a general direction and hope something hits. So let's kind of start here. You can see these little blobs wandering around right now, and we'll just call them capsules because that's really what they are. I don't have player models. Actually, I have one. We'll get into that towards the end, but I don't have player models or character models for all of these factions yet. So we get beautiful blobs in different colors, the beautiful capsules. So there's red, blue, and green. Blue are our Scroungers, red, which I'll show you here in a moment, are Hunters, and green are Collectors. And they will all behave differently. Like you can see right here, these 2 pretty much are okay coexisting. And that's because both of them have very high self-interest ratings. Really neither of these 2 factions want to fight, especially with each other. They will attack me if I get too close, as you can see this little green guy, this collector here. Notice though that he's retreating. So he was on patrol, and that's where he's heading over here. He's heading to one of his random patrol points. And he happened to stumble across me. Now, his self-interest is very high, but I was within his comfort zone, which is why he opened fire at me. But notice that he continued to retreat as he did so. And that's one of those design behaviors that's built into the game. And I believe it's the same right now. I've been tweaking a lot of settings, so I apologize for that, but for not knowing exactly what's in there. But, one of I believe the Collectors and the Scroungers both will retreat while a Hunter will charge. So let's kind of jump over here to a Hunter, and you get a little bit bigger view of the map here. All right, so we'll get in here, and it's chaos over here. So Hunters will virtually attack anything. And you can see occasionally a Scrounger will walk in there, and everybody that sees him just immediately, here's a great one here. It's really funny when they die. So when their aim isn't so shitty, everybody just kind of falls over dead here. But notice the scroungers though. The scroungers are really just retreating at this point, But they kind of got caught into a bad position, and they just had no choice but to try and scramble. Normally they would be dead by now. But we kind of purposely did this to keep the action, the map live with action. So you'll be hearing kind of gunshots as things go off, just kind of due to these faction wars. And you can see that as a scrounger, really anybody walks into the territory here of a hunter, they just open fire. They're ruthless. They're brutal. Hunters kick my ass all the time. If I even come near them with the settings that I liked for them, they open fire. There's no warning. There's no voice lines. They taunt you, which is just an amazing thing. But that's kind of what a hunter is doing here. And you can see as soon as somebody gets near them, they immediately open fire on them. Now, hunters have a little bit different behavior when it comes to artificial intelligence. So hunters will attack AI, as you can see here. But you'll notice that they still just kind of they don't necessarily charge an AI. And I did that a little bit just to kind of tone them down, because hunters are literally just killing everything on the map. And it was making it difficult to keep good populations of all factions on the map at the same time. So when it comes to an AI, they will shoot at them, but they don't necessarily charge and get up close to them. So the goal with that is that, if the packs of them kind of wander in here, what happens is that the scroungers will overwhelm them, and they will win those battles. So it does kind of prune the hunter numbers a little bit, but because hunters are so aggressive and they are kind of so densely populated, hunters generally win out when it comes to things. So the next thing that I kind of want to talk about, you can see some of them up here. So there are a couple of spawn points right now. This here is actually a scrounger spawn point. Up here, you can see these the hunters wandering out of here. There's a hunter spawn point over here. And over here we have, kind of in this area, is where the collectors will spawn. Right now I have it to a ridiculous amount because I wanted there to be action for you to be able to see. So I think I have like 25 of each, and this map is far from complete. So it's very small. That's 75 AI in this small of an area is it's a lot. But again, that was there so that we could kind of illustrate this. So that's kind of the typical behavior right now. As a player, I can engage these. They can kill me. I can kill them if I'm not cheating and turn off their aiming. So they can kill each other, and then all of them just kind of behave in their own ways. I think I've covered the majority of how they behave. Basically a scrounger will kind of patrol, but they will try to avoid conflict wherever necessary, unless you get in with within their comfort zone. A hunter will basically attack you if you're anywhere near them, and they're ruthless, they're brutal. And then collectors will do absolutely everything they can to avoid contact, and we saw that back over here, kind of with these guys. So it's possible for these guys to kind of coexist and commingle, but if they do get too close to one another, they will finally open fire. And then here, again, going back to that, so we've got a collector here that wants to retreat from me, but wants to suppress me at the same time. So, and that kind of comes into the next thing. You can see it kind of shooting out here a little bit, and then as soon as it feels like it's safe, it turns and just continues running. So a lot of behavior though. The cool thing is we can control all of this. The next step for this is to move all of these variables into a database, and that way I can database drive this instead of having to push a build every time we want to update the AI. So that'll be kind of the next step for AI. So with that said, I am going to jump over and I'm going to kind of exit this scene. Through the wonders of editing, you won't see any of this, but then we're going to go over to the one character model that we do have implemented. And I want to show you kind of some of the animations that go along with that, how they behave more on like a one-on-one basis as compared to big groups like this. So give me a second, I'll be right back. All right, so we are back now, and I've turned off all of the blobs, and in exchange, I have turned on Mikhail, which is kind of our temporary character model. And you can see him wandering around out there in the distance. Now, I'm purposely far away here because he does mimic the behaviors of a hunter. I have not given him a weapon, though. So and there's a reason for that, because I don't want him to one tap me, but two, I also want to show you the behaviors and be able to interact with him with no danger. So you can see right now he's basically just on patrol, out there kind of wandering around and doing his thing. Now he does have a cone and a line of vision here, and that cone faces out and out to a certain distance that we can control. So as I kind of wander around here, and I need a disclaimer too, the sound right now is terrible. So I apologize for that. The audio is terrible. Just everything about audio right now is broken. So in the background, I've been working on some mixer settings and filters and stuff like that, and it's just awful right now. So I apologize for that. But you can see I can kind of sneak up on Mikhail here. So he's kind of wandering around doing his thing right now. And I can sort of sneak up on him. Now, at some point, this does, actually, I have it turned off, but he will hear me and turn around and become in an alert state, but I have alerts turned off. Now, if I move into his line of vision here, notice there all of a sudden he realized, like, oh shoot, I've got to attack here. Now, because he's a hunter, he's charging me. And this is actually the attack animation. So normally there would be bullets kind of whipping by me here, and he would be just kind of whooping my ass, like, for real. So that's kind of the behavior here. He'll follow me around. You can see he's got his arms up here, and if he had a weapon, he would be most definitely attacking me. Now, some of the other things that we can do with this is we can set their cover values. So some of the other factions, they will prefer cover over actually just running up on me and attacking like this. And you can see, he got a little too close there, so he has to back off to be able to use his weapon, which is the backward step here. But basically the main behavior for them is to come and attack. If they get too close, then they will back off and kind of retreat to a certain value. And now you can see he's starting to push me again to become more aggressive. So, and this entire time he's been shooting at me, mind you. So, there's that. We do have a dying animation, and this is severely broken. So, it's working as intended. I posted kind of a funny video about it yesterday, but there's some quirkiness that goes along with this as you're developing. So, but so we can interact with them. We can actually kill them. We can topple them over. I forget the exact number. I did quite a few of these yesterday, but put together a ton of animations. So there's, as they're just kind of patrolling and wandering, they'll get to a patrol point. They'll sit there for a random kind of period of time and look around. They'll start to talk to other faction members that are maybe in the general area. And then there are also some things that you don't see because we're one-on-one right now. But they do have an alert radius. So if there's an enemy AI, or if there is a friendly AI, within range of them, they will alert them to your presence. So, basically, if there are two hunters kind of within, say, 100 meters of each other, Mikhail here will yell and alert the others in that 100-meter radius of himself. And then they all start to attack me. So, hunters are scary. You want to stay away from them. Scroungers, they'll do the same if they're under attack. Same with collectors. UNF won't attack unless you fire at them. You can fire around them, just not at them. But if you fire at them, they will definitely come after you. And then unfactioned, they'll kill everybody. So they're a lot like a hunter, but a little bit more ruthless. So, and the unfactioned is actually the one faction that's not afraid of a hunter. So all other factions will actually back off and try to get away from a hunter. Whereas, the unfactioned will actually take that fight and go straight at them. So, that's kind of the thing. I wanted to show off some of the modeling, let you know that, he's this beautiful, good-looking Mikhail. Again, wanted to show off some of this to you. AI it's not in a polished final state by any means, but it is in a point where we can start to implement some of these character models, start to have them shoot and be able to interact with them, be able to kill them, be able to loot them, and that kind of stuff. So the game is really kind of progressing on that front, which is an amazing thing to see. So, but with all of that, that's pretty much what I had for you today. I will do a sprint planning video on Monday to discuss what's upcoming for the next 2 weeks. Spoiler alert, there's probably still a little bit of AI to get worked into that, but I think I'm going to bump up character models. And, since the AI is in there, I can interact with their animations and stuff. I've already kind of started doing that, so it's a good opportunity for me to just jump in and kind of continue that momentum forward. So, a little bit of a spoiler. Also, on the screen right here, I'm going to put some beautiful patrons that joined up and supported this week. We do have a special running between now and the end of January. Any patron at any tier does have the ability to name an in-game character. So if you if you go support us on Patreon right now, send over the name for your in-game character. It could be your name, it could be a made-up one. Just keep them appropriate, because obviously we need to, we don't want Dick Butthead or something like that running around. But as long as it's something that's reasonable, we're happy to build that into a game as as a non-player character. So, and then I think next month we're going to do another promotion where probably higher level tiers are able to name some of the in-game bosses, because each of these factions do have kind of leadership with them, and those leaders will behave as a boss inside of the game. So, so for the remainder of this month, we'll name kind of a random NPC after somebody of your choice. We'll make sure that they're always alive on the map. So if you die, we'll just spawn up a new character with that name on it. And and that's one of the perks that we've kind of added in addition to all of the other tier awards. And it is for any tier, so even a $3 a month donation is amazing, and you'll be able to name an in-game character. So, first, again, thanks to everybody that did support this week. Thanks to those of you that will hopefully support next week or this coming week. With that, do all the social things. Share this video, click the thumb up, subscribe to the channel, join us on Discord, head over to Patreon, buy some merch, do all of that fun stuff, right? So, you guys know what to do. I'm not going to bore you with it, so. With all of that said, though, thanks for your time today. I will see you again on Monday for some sprint planning, which is always a great time to figure out what we're going to work on. And I hope you all have a great weekend. Thanks, everybody.